MVP was Terry Bradshaw,
Terry
number 12.
Bradshaw, right. Inside the Ram locker room now, the Pittsburgh locker room. That was the Ram locker room you saw momentarily. There's Dan Rooney.
When you're the champs, you're all by yourself. It's hard to stay on top. Somehow the Steelers can do it.
Now Bradshaw signaling to those Steeler fans up behind the dugout as he walks in. MVP Terry Bradshaw.
How about him kidding about all his interceptions this year when he was talking earlier? So I've thrown a few. I know what interceptions look like.
I know what that feels like, too. You can see how dejected the Rams are. Larry Brooks walking in. They all, to a man, thought they had a good chance to win, and they did. Game in which the lead changed hands 6 times. Rams led 19-17, and then Bradshaw went to work with Stallworth.
That one with the backbreaker was that 70-some-odd yarder that he took going away over the wrong shoulder. Stallworth put it in the end zone, 73 yards, and I sort of thought the whole thing crunched into place in the 4th period. Mullins.
And final stats.
Total yards, 393 for Pittsburgh, 302 for Los Angeles. Ferragamo was 15 of 25 for 194 yards. Pretty good day for a quarterback to start about 7 games.
There's big Joe Greene. I wonder if he's got any thoughts about retiring. We'll be back with the Super Bowl trophy presentation, and we'll talk to the winning coaches and players in the winning dressing room right after this word from your local station.
Okay.
Russ.
To Super Bowl trophy number 4.
Tom, I guess after one of these years and one of these times are over, there's a lot of confusion everywhere, including right here.
Well, I keep thinking about football players, and I'm proud of them. They're very professional, but we didn't see the hitting we saw today because of the $18,000 or the $9,000, and people won't believe that, but it's true, and I'm very proud of the guys that I play with, and I think you are proud of yours, and these modern-day guys are just like football players have been for 50 years.
Yeah, no difference. The Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, for the 4th time are the Super Bowl champions. I wonder if you're a Steeler and you've got the nucleus of such a great team that'll last apparently for a few years yet, at least. I wonder if you ever get bored with stuff like this.
Well, they don't seem to. That's the thing that amazed me. Here's Joe Greene, you know. Obviously, Joe's well fixed and is taking care of himself. He's just not even thinking about retirement. So they're thinking about going into the 80s and overlapping. And you know how hard it is to stay there. They're one of the... Shula couldn't even keep that great Dolphin team at the very top.
You and I have been around this game for a long time, a very long time, in fact.
Yeah.
Is this, you think, the best professional football team you've ever seen?
I think it could be the best hitting team I've ever seen. I don't think that Chuck Noll has anybody on the entire roster that won't knock your eyes crossed. And you almost have to have that to get into this kind of a situation.
All right, let's go down now to Brent Musburger with Commissioner Pete Rozelle.
We are family indeed, and for the 4th time, the Rooneys and the Pittsburgh Steelers have won the Super Bowl. And it's my pleasure to introduce the Commissioner, Pete Rozelle, to make the award presentation. Commissioner?
Well, Mr. Rooney, as the saying goes, we'll have to stop meeting like this. I think it's absolutely incredible. You were tested, your team was tested today by an outstanding Ram club. You came back every time. And I know that for you, it had to be particularly rewarding to have your son Danny, president of the club, your son Art Jr. also play a part in this franchise, in this win for the franchise that you started 46 years ago. But I know for you, the big thrill was being able to deliver to the City of Champions, your beloved Pittsburgh, this trophy.
Coach Noll, I think the players want you to go ahead and speak now.
Listen, this is probably the best one we've ever had, and I accept this trophy on behalf of the best football team in the nation and the best coaching staff and the best organization. Thank you.
I might add that this well could be the best football team in history right now.
Whatever's right.
Chuck, I have to ask you specifically about the game. It was the big play. The Rams turned in a heck of a performance. They didn't back away from you at all.
There's no question about that. They ran the ball very well. They played great defense. We had some people in our offensive line that were a little bit crippled up, and we were not quite as efficient as we'd like to be, but big plays that we were able to turn over by John Stallworth and Terry Bradshaw, and of course that starts with the protection in the offensive line, and our defense able to come up at the end when we had to. It was just a great game for us.
The defense kept changing up against Terry. They kept giving him different looks, a lot of nickel backs. They'd move the cornermen in, then they'd shift them back outside. He had to solve that throughout the game.
Well, we were able to do it from a passing standpoint, but we were trying to grind up some time running the ball, and they were shifting the fronts on us early, and we had a little problem with that, but it shouldn't be in the future.
Congratulations to Mr. Rooney and Coach Chuck Noll. We're going to be back with Terry Bradshaw, John Stallworth, and the men from the trenches as the Super Bowl today continues live on CBS. Back live now with the most valuable player, Terry Bradshaw. Terry, this was no easy one today, was it?
Brandon, was one of the toughest Super Bowls I've ever played in. First half, we didn't really take control of them. Had excellent field position, just could not cash it in. I had an interception. In the second half, 2 more interceptions, but we started hitting some big plays, and I found out something in their coverage I wanted, and then I hit it for 2 big bombs. I hit it early, and I came back and I told John I'm going to try this play again. I don't think they'll be in the same cover. They were in the same dead blame cover. I couldn't believe it, and we hit another one.
Terry, if we could get some movement there, we can see the big play. They're standing right in front of the monitor, and here it was. This is Lynn Swann on the touchdown. Now, the second man over, Nolan Cromwell, was just a step short on the double coverage, and Linney makes one big play after another.
They had a blitz on, and I had an audible at the line of scrimmage against a man coverage, and they gave a delayed blitz. I saw it right at the very last and saw Swann break for the post. I didn't see the reception, so I didn't see it again here, so I don't know how he caught it, but I heard it was a tip ball, and he made a great catch.
The trap game was not working with Franco Harris. You had to look for the big play. They took that away from you.
They rammed down everyone. They really shut off the traps. I tried to go outside with some influence plays. I tried to do some straight blocking. They did an excellent job. The second half, they were really fired up because they smelled victory.
Congratulations. Now let's go to the soul of this ball club with Irv Cross. Here's Mean Joe Greene.
Thanks a lot, Brent and Carson. You talk about the heart of the Steeler team and defense. You have to talk to Joe Greene. Joe, were you surprised that the Rams played the kind of game they did and hung in there to the 4th quarter?
No, I wasn't. Those people played their hearts out, and they believe that they can win. And that's what makes this game so great. We have people that come out and play like that. It was a tremendous effort on both teams' part.
The 4th World Championship, 4th Super Bowl championship, never been done before. What does it mean to you?
I'm not sure it's real yet. I feel beautiful. I feel wonderful. Pittsburgh Steelers have so many ball players, so many outstanding football players. Today, a lot of the guys didn't play as well as we would have liked to, but we got a lot of good football players.
Congratulations, Jim. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after these messages.
All right, and our live coverage from the Steelers locker room continues after these messages from your local stations.
Monday wrap-up on Eyewitness News Update.
No tapes, right?
Back now
No
with
replay.
middle linebacker Jack Lambert. Vince Ferragamo driving the team, Jack, and you come up with the key interception. Explain the defense and exactly what happened. We'll roll the play out.
Well, there's what we call our reverse coverage, where I'm responsible for the deep middle. We worked against that pass all week long, and I stepped right in front of the receiver coming across the middle. I guess Ferragamo never saw me.
Throughout the game, I had the feeling that the Rams were making the sweep game work. Somehow, you were not that big a defensive factor in the first half. What were they doing to Jack Lambert?
Well, they weren't really doing that much to me, but I thought that our defense didn't play with the intensity that we're accustomed to playing with, and I was somewhat concerned about that fact. But I think we came out in the second half and played Steeler football.
Why the fire in the second half? Was something said, or did this team just reach inside themselves?
Nothing was said, but I think we knew it. You know, we've played defense much better than what we played today. And we're all capable of playing a lot better than that. And Joe and I talked about it at halftime, and we figured we had to get some intensity back up out there, and we did it in the second half.
Congratulations, Jack, on another Super Bowl trophy. A young man who played brilliantly in defeat. Quarterback Vince Ferragamo standing by with Dick Stockton. Let's go to the Ram locker room.
You're so right, Brent Musburger. All these games have been dominated by quarterbacks, but never has a guy in defeat has distinguished himself as Vince Ferragamo has today. I want to ask you, one turnover, that was that final interception, a brilliant execution of game plan. Tell me what you thought going in and as the game progressed.
Well, we felt good the whole game. I think everybody in particular played well on offense. Defense played well. We just weren't good enough to win the game.
What were you trying to do?
At the end of the game in the interception, we were just had a play-action fake going on. We had Billy Whitey going deep, and we had Drew Hill coming across the middle, and Lambert, they got a deep drop with their linebackers, and he stepped in and picked it off.
Incredible poise for a guy that's played just 8 games in a game with this kind of pressure.
Well, it's a reflection on my offensive line. They give me all the time in the world. Jackie Slater, Doug France, you name them all. Rich Saul, Dennis Hare, Ken Hill, they all do a super job. They protect with all their heart every ounce of energy they have, and our backs run with the football, and we're all champions, and
you are.
It's just too bad we just couldn't win today.
Vince, you were extraordinary. Congratulations in defeat. We'll be back with more Super Bowl coverage from Pasadena's Rose Bowl in just a moment.
Live at the Super Bowl, you stop one of the thing, you got to stop the other one. John Stallworth, first of all, how is Lynn Swann, his condition after he left the game?
Lynn got a bump on the head. It was kind of dizzy initially, and doctors felt that he shouldn't go back in the game. Luckily enough, we didn't need him near the end there.
Did you know that the pressure then was on you? You were going to have to carry the load?
I felt like it was going to be on me. It was no different than the beginning of the season when Lynn was hurt initially, and we played about 4 or 5 games without him, and I started catching a few more passes. It's nothing that I hadn't done all year, and I was up to the task today.
John, we're going to show that touchdown pass, the 73-yarder, the big play that the Steelers had to have. What was the pattern, and what'd you do?
I had a hook and go. We have been running a lot of patterns to the outside, just regular hooks from the slot, and they just miscovered me then. I got open for the touch.
And there, and later you came back, and was it the same pattern that you burned them deep on again?
The identical same pattern. I felt coming to the line of scrimmage, they were going to try to cover it. We were going to have to go other places with the ball, but they didn't cover it again. Brad laid the ball up, and I managed to get under it.
Did you feel left out in the first half?
I felt that I could do more. We weren't doing that well running the ball and throwing the ball either, so I felt I could do more in the second half.
All right, John, congratulations. Another main man in this now Steeler dynasty, number 32, Franco Harris. Standing by with Irv Cross. Let's go to Irv.
Thanks very much, Brent. Of course, when you want to move the ball, you give it to your best ball carrier, number 32, Franco Harris. It's the 4th one. How do you feel?
Feel great. I tell you, I mean, when we won the first one, you try to think, wow, your first one, and then the second one, and the third one, and now a 4th one. I tell you, this feels fantastic. I'm just happy for everybody in Pittsburgh and like the Roonies and our coaching staff. It's just great.
Franco, it looks like you played 2 games today. You're trailing 13-10 at halftime. In the 3rd quarter, the Steelers came out and exploded. What kind of adjustments did you make?
Well, we kind of felt that we had to go in there and do what we do and do it better than we did the first half. Okay, we were moving the ball the first half. We were doing certain things, but we just, like that little bit of something was missing. When we came in the second half, we were behind. Sure, you get nervous, but hey, the game's won in 2 halves. So the second half, we just put it together.
Congratulations. Thanks a lot.
Thanks
Congratulations
a lot.
to you. Let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, thank you very much. Lynn Swann has just come out of the trainer's room. Lynn, what's your condition? Are you all right?
I'm okay. I had a slight concussion because of the fall. So the doctor's going to keep me down, and I will not be playing in the Pro Bowl this weekend.
On the touchdown pass, on the play before, Pat Thomas and you squared off. Did you go back and say, they're not coming over on the double team quick enough, I can burn them? Was anything said when you returned?
Well, Pat Thomas was trying to be as physical as he could during the ball game. He took a couple of shots at me on a couple of running plays. I didn't worry about him too much. On that play, it was a blitz, and I just ran by him. And then there was a safety that had to go up after and get the ball from him.
Lynn, congratulations. I'm so glad you're all right. And who better now to close this classic game that, in the opinion of many, was the best of all 14 of the Super Bowls than Jack Whitaker. Let's go up to Jack now.
Thank you very much, Brent. I thought Super Bowl 10 was when the Super Bowl broke out of its dullness, and Super Bowl 13 last year with the same 2 teams, Pittsburgh and Dallas, also was a fine one. And Super Bowl 14 today stands right beside them, indicating, I think, that the Super Bowl is maturing and full of life. And part of its strength may come because they change the site every year. Every site gives its own personality to the game. Miami with its palm trees and beachfront hotels, New Orleans with the French Quarter, Los Angeles with its freeways. But today here on this California perfect day, in this handsome town, in this postcard setting, and watching the light change against the San Gabriel Mountains, that plus the magnificent performance of the Los Angeles Rams and the Steelers has made Super Bowl 14 a game that future Super Bowls should emulate.